It's your boy Dread Marley, and you're not tuned in to Keep It Real with Dread. And I got my first guest, my boy, my homie, my
Hey, your boy
family.
West Side.
Yes,
What's good?
sir.
What's good?
Yes, sir. What's good with you, my boy?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm just out here, just taking it day by day, trying to come up with a plan to take over the world. You know what I'm saying? Like Pinky in the
on,
brain.
on some on some fucking evil shit.
I was a Biggie in the brain.
Man, bruh, and we've been knowing each other for a long ass time, bruh.
Yeah, it's been a
You
good
feel
minute.
me? And we done got our own show,
hmm
Temperature Check podcast. You feel me?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, but you feel me? I just wanted to go back from the beginning because people just know us as being on the podcast. They probably don't know that we actually know each other that long. So I
That's
want to go
facts.
back to the beginning. Like, where exactly are you from, bro? Like, I
Mm.
know what you represent, but let the people know where you from, bro.
Well, I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. Born and raised, you know what I'm saying? I moved up this way. He made that face because I stayed. I moved up here pretty early. I moved here like fifth grade,
Yeah.
and I've been up here since then.
hmm
But I moved around. I done stayed in from Miami to Fort Lauderdale to
hmm
Pompano to Miramar and Palm Beach. Like I
Yeah.
kind of like a South Floridian nomad in a
Okay.
sense. Like so, yeah. I've been.
Was it a big difference when you had moved from West Palm Beach when you came down here?
Hell yeah! All right, so let me
Yeah.
break this
Yeah. Go
down.
ahead. Go ahead.
So when I first moved up here, right, it's funny because it's completely not what I thought it was at that time.
Okay.
So coming from West Palm, where I stayed, like Magonia Park, like 44th around that area,
hmm
45th, Revere not too far, whatever. Um, it was mainly black people I seen,
hmm
and like the school I went to, Northmore Elementary, shout out to them.
Okay.
Um, Black kids. I'm talking about this one of the bad schools. A couple times when I went there, kids brought guns to school.
In West Palm,
West
right?
Palm, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. A couple. I think we had like two incidents where a kid brought a gun on campus.
At an elementary?
Yeah, man, it was that neighborhood was so bad. I remember when I was
God
growing
damn.
up, it was a dude that was like well known because he was like kidnapping kids. Yeah, he used to be in the neighborhood.
Damn.
Yeah, he made it on the news. I remember because I don't know if it was early release.
hmm
My auntie used to work as the cafeteria lady. So when it's early release, we sit back until she done with what she doing,
hmm
and then we ride with her home.
hmm
And I stayed not too far from the school. It was like down the street, literally. I could
Okay.
walk. But yeah, and I remember coming home. They cut on the news, and they had the dude on the news,
hmm
and I heard about it, but I got more familiar with it through my other older cousins
Gotcha.
because they were more so older enough to walk more often by themselves,
Gotcha.
and it was they done seen him a couple times in the
hmm
street. But yeah, he
And
was
gave
known
you
for kidnapping kids.
basically the warning of like, watch out for fools.
Yeah, like so they finally got him. Thank God they got that boy. But but yeah. So when we moved up this way,
hmm
I moved to Pembroke Pines.
Okay.
And the first community I stayed in, it was right behind Cafe Iguanas. Well, where Cafe Iguanas was.
Right.
Um, and it was white people there. Like it was the
So
school I went to.
that was just out of the norm.
Yeah, it was like predominantly white kids
hmm
and like Hispanics, and it was
hmm
like sprinkling some black kids in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of weird. In the community, it was only me and one other black kid I knew of
Right.
in that community,
hmm
and then everybody else was like white Hispanic. So it was like a shell shock like when it came to it. And I had my first crush, like my first what they call that jungle fever. I had my first cup of jungle fever that around that
I mean,
time.
that's all you see, so I get it. I get
But
it.
I was so mad at myself because I had jungle fever for this one white girl. But if you looked at her, like you would have been like, bro, really?
Man,
But
come on,
it
bro.
was
You was
like,
a kid,
yeah, I was a kid, but it was a badder black chick, dog, like, that wanted me, and I was egging her for the white girl, and I was like,
man.
man, I had snapped out of it though. I had a little get out moment. I had broke out though. I
Get
broke
off
out.
of me.
Yeah, I had a little. I was in that bit with a little piece of
What,
cotton,
yeah,
but in
right.
my ears, I was tripping, dog. I was like, man. And I
I
think the
know.
last time I seen it was a hurricane coming. And, it was a hurricane coming. My mama went to Walmart and I saw the girl in there. I said, damn, I fucked up. But nah, to get back on topic though. But yeah, that was part of it. And then like the music was the biggest change. Like my first girlfriend when I moved up this way, when I
hmm
started talking to her, and I remember one time she played that uh B I D I
Hey,
D I
hey,
D I
Hey,
be on and on and
that's
on,
that
on
Miami
and
shit.
on, over and over and
Yeah.
over. And I was just like,
What
I'm
that
like,
is?
what is this?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, you don't know this?
DJ Chip, man. Shout
And
out to that boy.
and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what is the, like, what are you listening to? They're not saying nothing but repeating the same
Right.
thing, B.I. and
Right.
on over and over and over again.
Right.
Like, and I couldn't understand it because I grew up with my cousins and my cousins were older. So they
Mhm.
listened to more so like Tupac, Biggie, Lauryn Hill,
Now I
112.
understand.
Like it was like
Now I
words.
understand.
So it's
Okay.
like going from that to speed up like sound and the,
Mhm.
you know how he got that beat, and it's
Mhm.
like repetitive but it took me like probably like a year or two
Really.
to catch on, like to actually like understand why they like it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, like you said that you was in West Palm, so I get it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a year. So when you heard that music,
Hmm.
because you said you started listening to Biggie and all them first,
Yeah.
that explains a lot now.
Yeah.
So was it when you was in West Palm that you started getting into the music?
Yeah, like as far as music wise, I so Biggie, Tupac, I really love Big Pun. Like the way he was able to spit so
Okay.
different speeds and like wordplay. I took a liking to his style. Method
Okay.
Man, I was a fan of him just because swagger and
Damn, how
like
old was your cousins?
my cousins had some years on me.
Oh, okay. I'm like, damn, they listening to all the big
Yeah,
time.
and
Okay.
then you gotta take consider my brother. So that's where the DMX
Shout out
come
to
from, the
Rambo.
Jay-Z, the Nas, that all that
Hmm.
stuff come from my brother's side. The
Okay.
Tupac and Biggie and all that stuff come from my older cousin Mike. And then the R&B, Lauryn Hills to your Faith Evans and all those different 112, that
Hmm.
come from my cousin. And then I got my other cousin who's putting me on Ludacris and the South, you know what I'm saying, Pastor Troy.
Hmm.
So it's like I had a gumbo pot of different kind of music. And then my cousin Alex, he was starting to do music. So he
Okay.
was the first person I seen to have a studio in his own crib.
Okay.
So he had a studio he was building in the back, and that was like my first exposure to music. But I always say that I have such a love for music
Hmm.
that I never wanted to do it just because I didn't have enough confidence in myself that I could do something that was good enough to compare to what I was a fan
That you
of. And
okay.
if I couldn't do that, I didn't want to do it.
Got you. Got you. So when you came to Miami, did you
Mm.
like tell them like the type of music that we was listening to down
Nah, so I was the bootleg man. So I used to. I'm sorry, y'all. I used to burn CDs.
here?
I had a CD book.
I think everybody went through a
I had
phase
a
like that.
CD book.
Okay.
So I'm talking about I had the Thug Motivations.
All
I
that.
had a mix CD. I had all that stuff,
You
man.
was selling
So
them?
you said selling them?
Yeah.
Nah,
No,
that's
that
what
was
I
just
was saying. I
your
just had a
personal.
love for music. Now I was selling candy. When it came to candy, I was profitable, my boy. I
And
was
one thing
Frank
about
Lucas
you,
for the candy,
you said
boy.
Frank Lucas.
No, the security tried to get me a couple times. I just
And one thing I can say about you, my boy, you always hustle, bro, and I respect that
Yeah,
about you,
I
man.
appreciate that, man.
You got different hustles all the time. So, okay, you said you got your book or whatnot. So let's keep moving forward. So
Mm.
now you was in elementary when you came down here, right?
Yeah, I was in elementary, fifth grade, so I went into sixth after that first year, and I
Hmm.
was still kind of relatively in that Pembroke Pines area, because I went
Okay.
from Pines Elementary to Pines Middle,
Okay.
and then after that I went to Renaissance.
Okay. So at what point did you feel like, okay, now I want to start going into the studio? As it was it like going into middle school or coming into high school? Like at what point was that? Because when I met you, that's
Hmm.
when I realized, I'm like, damn, Ant has a different ear. Well,
Hmm.
that's in high school. You have
Yeah.
a different ear for music. Like you would put me on different artists. Like damn, um, what's the name of that artist that was with Iceberg? Damn, what is it?
That was with Iceberg.
Yeah. No. We can get grown.
Oh, lunch money.
Lunch money. Like I ain't
My
know.
man, 'cause it ain't gotta be my shot. Shout out to lunch money.
Yeah.
We can get
I'm like, wait,
grown.
hold on, because the
We
type of
can get
music that I was
grown.
listening to, it was always like Jeezy,
Yeah.
Wayne, all that. You got your local artists
Mm.
that was here, Iceberg, Young Feet, all them that we listened to. But then
Yeah.
you started putting me on the lunch money and all. I'm
Man,
like,
I fuck with lunch
yeah,
money,
real,
dog.
like this man got it. Yeah. So at what point when it was just like, okay,
Mm.
like yeah, I like all these different styles of music and I want to get into it.
I would say like through my era of downloading, And it kind of like prepped me up for that. So like you know how dedicated you gotta be to download a whole album of an artist, bro. Like in that LimeWire
I was
era,
just about to say that.
they had
Wow.
like 16 songs.
Yeah, bro.
Each song take about 20 minutes to download, depending on your internet
And
speed. And you might download it, and you might get a bootleg, and it said, "I did not have
I
sexual
hated
relations with that woman,
that.
but I did download."
or
Like I was like,
or
"What?"
or it'd be Soldier Boy song because that boy
Yeah.
was a marketing genius,
Yes,
bro.
and you would just say you was like Soldier Boy up here.
Yeah.
This is not Nas. All I need is one mic. I don't, like so, but you know that me downloading and just getting different sounds and then, like I said, it was kind of like a gumbo pot because like I like island music from my
hmm
mom. My mom would listen to Wayne Wonder and stuff like that. So then I'm getting
Hey,
that. I'm
shout out to
telling you,
him.
I got a cousin that's putting me on Ludacris and Pastor Troy.
hmm
You get what I'm saying? So I'm getting South music, and then I on my own found West Coast type music and Texas music. But it was
Mm,
more so going from downloading LimeWire. Once that went out and that was no longer a thing no more of
right.
downloading through LimeWire, then that's when I came across the Dat Piffs. That's when I
Live
came across
mixtapes.
the live
Yeah.
mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? They had the two dope boys, like different websites you could use to find music.
Right.
So through there, I would find artists like Chance the Rapper. I heard about Wiz, but then I really dug in his catalog
That
through
boy was a
Dat
good
Piff.
artist. That boy is
Yeah,
a good artist.
like my cousin put me on him. He played me the Say Yeah, like
hmm
that video, and I seen that, and I was like, this dude is different.
Right.
And he played. It was off a sample off of this pop song that I used to hear waking up trying to watch Saturday morning cartoons. And it
hmm
used to be this cartoon music video of aliens, and the song would be like dun 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 dun
hmm
dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, I know this song, and then he rapped on it, and I'm like, oh, this is hard.
That boy was
So
different, bro. I can say that.
it's like a mix stuff like that, and that's when I remember listening to Future, and I will never forget. I played Future in the car for my homeboys, and they told me to cut it off. They was like, "What is
Now
this?
look at the world.
Cut it off. I don't want to hear it." And I'm like, "Bro, this dude is hard." And a
Oh,
couple weeks
okay,
later,
okay. I gotta, I got a confession.
yeah.
So, my first introduction to Future was Tony Montana.
See, that wasn't mine. I feel you because I didn't like Tony Montana.
So when I heard Tony Montana,
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Mm.
So now, I ain't, I was just like, let me put that to the side. You feel me?
Yeah.
That ain't my. Let me go back to what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
So of course, with TJ always coming around, he was like, "Hey, bro, you fuck with Future?"
hmm
I was like, "Who was that?" So he was like, he started naming off songs. I'm like, "Bro, I don't know none of them songs." So he was like, "You probably only know the one that they got out
On
right
the
now
radio, and they was
was Tony
killing it on
Montana."
the radio.
So I'm like, "Yeah, I hear it, but I never really made it through the song." He was like, "Bro," he was like, "All right, let me take you to astronaut status."
Oh yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah.
From there on, Future Hive all the way, bro.
Man.
I was like, "Hey, bro, that boy don't miss, bro. I'm sorry, he don't." And since he came out with astronaut status, even before then, um, damn, I'm going to the moon. That
I'm
song,
going to the
yeah,
moon.
he
I'm
like
done.
from that mixtape
Yeah.
all the way out, he had a jam
Yeah.
every summer,
He
bro.
shout out to Future.
Shout out to that boy.
16 years in the
Yeah,
game, just a long time. I remember I'll never forget my first time hearing Future. I was in a car going to South Beach because my
right.
cousin, I mean not my cousin, my brother and my one of like he like my big brother, Joe. Shout out to him. It was just his birthday this past week.
Fact. You can catch that boy on Temperature Check.
Oh yeah, he gonna be on that. Yeah, so we was going to South Beach and
Mhm.
Joe was driving and I'm in the back seat. And I mean, if there was any way I would love for someone to be introduced to my music, it would be like how that was. Cause we in traffic and this car pull up with two girls and all it's like they was doing this whole choreography dance in the car and I'm like,
Mhm.
what's going on? Now mind you, it's South Florida, so you gotta think about it. Like spring break time, we're
Mhm.
getting everybody down here.
Every
College girls from Atlanta to Tallahassee to
facts.
Texas, everybody's
Facts.
coming down here. So they're playing blasting Future. What you got? Rags on rags on rags. I was
Hey.
like, oh, what is that? And I'm just sitting there. I'm playing music in my headphones, and I'm literally can't do nothing but sit there and just stare at them and just like vibe out with them. And I'm like, yo, this song is hard.
Mhm.
And then I found out it was Future. And then from there, I had downloaded, like, he had like 3 mixtapes at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when I started really bumping them from there. But I feel you, because when that Tony Montana came out, I wasn't rocking with it. I just didn't like how his voice. I don't know.
Yeah, how you like that shit? Yeah, right. I was
I
like, what
was like,
is
I
this,
don't
bro?
like this at all.
Well,
But
since we just gave him the introduction of how we was listening to Future, why don't you get him an introduction of who Westside is? Go ahead and play something for
okay,
the
I
people,
got
bro.
you. I play something for
You
you.
dig?
Just I can't fault you. Claim I went missing, you feeling lonely. You was seeking attention, is what you told me. You was leaning on someone who was consoling. Now that I lost your conviction, it got me hurting.
Hey, that shit hard.
Thank you, bro.
That shit hard, bro.
That's one of the ones that I've been cooking up lately.
That shit hard. So now, see, I'm the type of person that loves the lyricists, J. Cole, Kendrick, Andre 3 Stacks, people like that. Like, and every time, like, when you drop an album, and like, I know you be having some of the bangers and all that, but I always look for that one that's mellow,
Yeah.
like how you talking right there, and I just be like, sitting back, like, damn, he was thinking of me when he put this on. Like, I gotta have something for my boy to rock to. But do you, like, things like that, do you consider yourself a lyricist? Like how you would go in like that? Like that, I feel like you was actually talking in that one, bro. Like, you was doing your thing on that. I can't even lie.
It's funny, because, like, I don't ever try to consider myself a lyricist.
Yeah.
I just more so focused on, is it relatable? Can you feel something when you hear it? You know what I mean? And then from there, I think the lyricism come from me not wanting to settle and not wanting to, because I feel like there's too much of that. You know what I'm saying? Just people settling.
Right.
And the way I look at it, if you want to be bigger than, what you aspire to be is big. It's not common.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in order to get there, there's certain path you have to walk. There's a certain mindset you have to have.
Okay.
And in order to get there, you really is repetition, pushing yourself, drive, always trying to figure out a way. And I think that's just more so of my lyrics, like how they end up coming out that way.
Right.
Where it sounds like, man, this man is lyrical, but it's more so that I didn't want to settle. So I wanted to make sure that it's undeniable in a sense.
So most of your songs that you make, are they always like a situation that you had or something that you experienced, or you just take from other people as well?
I take from other people because I'm like one of them people that people could like come and talk to me, and they're comfortable with having conversations and just about different things. And it not necessarily have to be someone I know.
Right.
It could just be someone telling me something that they've seen someone else go through. You know what I mean? And that's why I may derive some of that from. Or, sometimes you just have fun in music and you just like, what's something that I haven't been through or I haven't heard of, but something creative I can make a song into.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
So, okay, let's go back for a little bit. After high school, did you want to dive into your career then, or were you like on a different path, just like working jobs and shit like that?
All right, so after high school, I wasn't thinking about music still, and it's funny because my first experience of someone telling me I should do music was in was it middle school? Middle school, I'll say that. It started there because I had a homeboy, Elliot. Shout out to him. It was a talent show in a sense, and it was just to raise awareness for genocide in Africa in Rwanda. And he wanted me to go up there and perform with him. So I wasn't, my mindset just wasn't that. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life.
Right.
So I wasn't thinking about music just because, it's kind of like a double life in a sense.
Right.
So he just kept nagging me about it. And I would always be like, yeah, I got you, but I just would never write.
Pushed it off.
Yeah. Until he literally was like, yo, write right now and I'll pay you. And I'm like, you'll pay me.
It's always that
And
incentive.
he took the money out and put it in my hand. And I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
I wrote something down real quick, and then I was like, all right, here you go. And we went. He read it, and he was like, yo, this is hard. So I was like, oh, okay. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I just wanted the money. So yeah, cool. I'm glad you like it. And I remember because I had a homeboy that he was also cool with that was rapping, and he was kind of like getting his like reviewed and like tweaked and stuff.
Right.
And then we went on stage, and it wasn't the best rhyme, and I don't know why I still remember it to this day. But
So so you remember the rhyme?
Yeah.
What was it?
All right, so let me see. All right, so it's, why won't the government go save Darfur? Why won't the government go save Darfur? Why they always worried about their bombs dropping to the floor or something like that? And I said, in Darfur, the sun never shine because the automatic bullets always keeping them blind because the automatic bullets always keeping them crying. Look around, all you see is tear bloods and bullet shells. Africans wondering why they living in hell. Ain't the United Nations supposed to save the human nation so we can grow up to have another generation? So this is 8th grade. This is 8th grade. It's like 8th grade. Yeah.
You wrote that in 8th grade, and you one of my niggas like, oh, that shit was hard.
Nah,
bro.
but in the beginning it was trash. Though. The beginning was trash though. But that bottom part, that's when I started getting my bag a little bit. Because
Yeah.
sometimes the first 2 lines isn't always the best lines.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But after that, I started finding my pattern, and I was writing to no beat. It was really supposed to be like a poem in a sense, but I ended up writing a poem in a rap form,
Right.
in a sense. So
Right.
that was my first sign, and then from there, I had an English teacher in high school. She told me that I should rap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she actually had some other students that was doing music, and she was trying to link me with them. Shout out to Giorgio. I can't remember the other person, but I know that was one of the people. And then another teacher, he liked my writing. When I first got to Everglades, we had to do a poem, and he made it. It was for the art fair.
Another hit.
That's why I started poems, because that's where my writing came from. I used to like writing poems.
And that's why I asked you, do you consider yourself as a lyricist? Because most of these dudes that, like I just said, J. Cole, Kendrick, they started off as poets.
Yeah.
Tupac.
Yeah,
Started off as
true.
poets. That's why I like some of the things, even when you rapping over somewhat like a trap beat or something like that, I'd be like, oh, this nigga spitting, bro. Like nobody ain't gonna say
But see,
that.
that's the thing. Like now, it's kind of like we're in a era where it's not about talent as much anymore. It's weird as it sounds. It's not about talent anymore.
It is.
It's like if you can go viral. If you can go viral, then you can be an artist. That's technically what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have some type of gimmick.
Yeah, some type of gimmick. You gotta come with something. They gotta like you as a person, not more so your music. If they like you as a person, then you got them. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just I just stick to my art. You know what I'm saying? I just try to see what can I add to it to make the picture even better. That's really more so.
Okay, so now we done talked about after you got out of high school, you were still doing your thing. So at what age was it like, okay, now I'm about to get in the studio?
Funny as hell. So I was out of high school. I'm trying to remember the exact age. I don't know the exact age exactly, but I just remember one day my brother going to the studio. This was probably like 2017. So he was going to the studio and he was like, yo, I'm working on this song. And he wanted to rap it, and he was like, yo, why don't you write to it and like record? And I'm like, I guess I'll try it. But in my head, I'm just looking at it like I've never heard myself on a song, so like that'd be cool, like to hear what it sound like.
Right.
And then I wrote to the song, and funny as hell, it was Beyonce, Me, Myself, and I beat. I don't know why he picked that one, but that was the beat for the song, and I rapped to it, and I was like, okay. It took me a long time to finish the verse, but awkwardly enough, we didn't have a hook until I was driving to the studio, and I was just listening to the beat, and I asked him, did we have a hook? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, I'll see what I can come up with. And while I'm driving, I came up with a hook. So sometimes me driving kind of helped me be creative.
Okay.
But yeah, that's when I first started. And once I heard that, I was like, okay, well, I wonder what it would sound like if I did a whole song. And then it was just more so me challenging myself. Like, okay, do you think you could do a whole song? And then I did it. And then it was like, all right, do you think you could do another one? I still wasn't considering myself as an artist.
Right.
I was just challenging myself to see if I could do something, and just kept doing it and just looking at people like, what do y'all think? This is good? Is this good? And then people were saying, no, it sounds good. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then it became a thing.
Yeah,
like from there, it was like, all right, I guess I'll keep trying this and see how good I can get at it. And then at that point, I became an artist.
So, right now, another song that you've been cooking up. Which one is like you can play one right now that's like, yeah, I challenged myself with this one, and it came out the way exactly how I wanted.
The song, okay, so this one, because I never saw myself making a song that talked about faith and just religion in a sense. Um, but I did it, and I just more so like tapped into inspiration like DMX because I love DMX. Like
Another lyricist.
his albums would have a prayer in it, and this isn't more so like a prayer. It's more so like a conversation,
Right.
but it's like kind of shadowed around the ideal of a prayer. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see what it is, my boy. Shit, you already blown me away with the first one, bro. So
I hope I get you with this one.
let's see. DMX, I fuck with.
Wish I knew to walk above water, why don't you show me? At times when I perform for a crowd, it give me cold feet. Moving solo, pray you never leave me dolo. No, I need you to complete my mission. Keep me knowing, cause I don't know where I'm going. I'm just moving off this intuition. Way to see through all the faking other people go against you, be your own people. Strength to get through all the pain a nigga been through, all this trauma, get into my mental.
God, give me strength. I need you right now. I need a change in my life somehow. God, give me strength to make it through. Show me the way.
Houston slowed down at the bottom, boy.
Yeah. This is supposed to be like an interlude in a sense.
Nigga.
So it's just supposed to be one verse.
I'm amazed, my boy.
Thank you, man.
Like, bro, I fuck with it, bro. Like, some of them lyrics, I'm just like, I like things like that because it make me think. And like you said, if you can relate to it.
Yeah.
Like how you was saying about the people, like, who gonna be there for you when shit get bad, you feel me? And it's like, my niggas, you said, you know, the whole team, like, that's who I rely on, bro, you feel me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we help so many people, but at the end of the day, like, who gonna be there for me?
Yeah.
Like, it got to come to a point to, like, where I break down, or if I made a status, now people like, oh my God, let me see what's wrong with Dre. Like, why wasn't you checking up like how I was checking up on you type shit? You feel me? Like,
yeah.
I'm always that person that's always gonna be somebody's crutch or something to that nature. Like, bro, he helps me, this, that, and the third. But can you say the same thing? That's why I'm just like, bro, it's me and my niggas, bro. Like,
yeah,
you feel me? Like,
I feel you.
It's me and my niggas. But things like that, bro. Like, speaking of when I asked you about doing the podcast, like, what came through your mind? Was you already on board? Like,
well, it was funny because when you came up with the idea, I thought it was just gonna be y'all. So when I came up with the idea, at the time I was just strictly on my music, and y'all was like, yeah, you know, that'd be cool if we just link up. I think we was playing 2K at the time, and I was like, all right, that'd be dope. Like, you know, just let me know like when y'all gonna do it. I'll pull up. And then at the time, my homeboy, I already knew Khaled. Shout out to Khalid Bryan. I already knew he had the AV club, so I'm like, all right, cool.
And at that point, we already did a podcast with for Breeze on.
Yeah, but I wasn't a part of that. That was just you and her.
Yeah,
so
shout out to her.
When shout out to Bree. So when y'all said it, I remember I think a week went by, and then we got on the game again, and I was like, yo, so when y'all doing the podcast? And then y'all didn't have a date, or like y'all were just like, you know, we gonna do it. Y'all just didn't set a date. So I was like, well, you know, Khaled, like I got someone that got a club, like, you know, AV club, we can go there and do it. And then at the time, I was just thinking about pulling up, like, and just watching y'all do it. I wasn't even thinking about getting on camera. So it was like once y'all, I don't know how I ended up getting on camera. Y'all were just like,
because so when I presented the idea, because everybody that know me knew that I love music.
Yeah.
So they always, anytime you see me, you see goddamn headphones in my ear.
Yeah, true, facts.
So it got to a point when TJ introduced me into like podcasting, and I've been listening to it for years, and I was like, damn, I actually want to do one of these because, bro, the conversations that we be having, I'm like, we can do that shit on air all the time.
Yeah.
So when I presented it to y'all, I'm like, bro, like, me and Sid can do a sports one, me and Rome can do a music one, me and you can do this, and I was just like, well, nigga, I got 3 kids. How the hell I'm gonna find time to do all this? I'm like, fuck it, let's just all do it one time. Like, it's all gonna be just us. So I guess when I told you that, you probably was just thinking like, "Oh, I'm just gonna pull up." Like,
Yeah.
nah, nigga, you
Yeah, I
you a
wasn't
part of this,
expecting to be on it. I
man.
was just like, all right, I'm gonna just pull up. I was gonna bring a bottle. I'm like, we're gonna drink. I'm gonna watch y'all do the podcast. And I'm just sit back and just chill and
Nah.
just enjoy being around y'all. So, but I pulled up and he was like, nah, you
Yeah,
part
like
of it. I
nigga,
was
get
like,
your ass in the
all
seat.
right,
Yeah.
cool. Like, and we had ran that first episode. Shit, that shit was so dark. We was looked like we was in a closet. But
If y'all don't know what we talk about, go to Tip of the
yeah,
Jet
just
podcast.
scroll all the way to the
Go to
bottom.
the first video.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna see
you gonna see
exactly
how
what we talk
dark it
about,
was
man.
in there.
Hey, shout out to Kelly because he got the studio
Yeah,
right.
we
Got
lit. We
everything.
lit now.
Yeah,
Yeah, we fully lit
literally.
now. Yeah, we fully lit. Yeah, you definitely gonna see us now.
So like now that we doing the podcast thing, like
Mm,
how do you like it now? Because we a year in, like year and some change in now. So
yeah,
how do you like doing it?
I love doing podcasting because it's like um I didn't know. Sometimes you don't know what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like hidden traits that you don't really realize you got until you actually tap into it. Because in high school, I was shy. Like I wasn't shy to my friends,
Right.
but like if I was to start a new class, I'd be the last person to talk. I
Mm-hmm.
probably go the first month without sharing a word to nobody,
That's me.
and then after like probably like 2-3 months in, I probably
Mm-hmm.
talk to one or two people. And after that, I open up because now I'm comfortable with people.
Right.
I take time to get comfortable around people,
Right.
but with podcasting, me starting to do it, I started to realize I could go around anybody. Like I could literally talk to anybody, and it was just more so just me seeing that. And I think the real message was one time I think I had a bad day and I came here and I'm thinking in my head like I'm gonna just pull up. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just let them talk because I'm not in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I got here and I flipped the switch. I think that was the episode when Bree was here.
Probably.
I think Bree was here, and we ran the episode with her, and I've completely forgot what I was mad about, and I left here feeling way better than I did coming in, and I was like, okay, maybe I am good at this.
Yeah, I think it's the same way with me because you know shit that be going on with me and I come here and I talk to y'all.
Yeah,
Like it's either before or after. It's just like it's a different feeling. Like I got my guys here. I can tell y'all things. We sit here. We talk about it, and then you feel better about it. Like it's like
hmm
all right, I got it out. Like ain't no sense in me holding this shit in no more. Like I got that shit from you. Protect your energy. Like bro.
man, I wrote a song. I made a song off of that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I made a song called "Protect Your Energy."
Okay, so once we finish this, then I'm gonna let you play that.
Yeah,
But yeah. So the whole podcast thing, like I be telling people, like I know it sound crazy, but I'm like me and my niggas are the same. We are the most antisocial social niggas
mm,
ever. Cause
that's facts.
we're all the same way. Like, bro, we're not gonna come here and just, hey, yo, like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not us. Like, we gonna
Sometimes we
come in.
walk in and it was like
It's dead.
it'd
So
be
it's just
like, yo,
like,
nobody talking.
all right, cool. So we go in our little corner,
Yeah, yeah.
talking shit, and then like eventually everybody open up.
Mm,
Because most of the time people would be like, oh, bro, like Drake, dog, I thought you just don't talk at all. I'm like,
yeah.
bro, like when I come in certain environments, I just gotta peep the scene. Like I gotta see how y'all are, bro. I just can't come in here and just open up. Like that's just not
That's
me.
facts.
You feel me?
hmm
So even people at the job, they was like, bro, you been here for a year and I only seen you talk to like 3 people.
hmm
And I'm like, I only talk to them because they help me out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I probably wouldn't be talking to nobody. I come here and do my job.
Mm.
Even with that, you still got people talking shit about you when you don't even talk to nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like, bro, then now when people get to know who you are, I'm like, no, that nigga is a cool ass nigga.
Yeah.
He may look like he mean as fuck all
Yeah.
day, but he cool as fuck. So when you say shit like that, you always been like that, especially since I
Mm.
met you, bro. Like
Facts.
always to yourself and shit like that until we start talking. Nigga, we throwing shit on the bus,
Yeah,
playing
man.
football, all type of shit, bro. Like, nah, that's why I appreciate you and said, bro. I ain't even gonna cap,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
We started this podcast, bro, and we still moving. We expanding, doing our own thing,
Mm.
and we still coming back and doing the Temperature podcast, bro. Like, I fuck with y'all boys heavy.
I fuck with you too, bro.
So I just wanted to bring you on here for my first show, show you love, give you flowers, tell you I appreciate you, my boy.
I appreciate
You
it too,
feel me,
dog.
dog? Now I want to go ahead and hear this song,
Oh,
Protect Your
yeah.
Energy, bro. Let's see if it's some shit that relating to me again, because the first 2 songs you played, I
Yeah,
fuck, bro.
man. Hey, that's my slogan. Protect your energy,
Yeah,
everybody.
bro.
Look,
Please,
you got
dog.
people out here that just want a piece of you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yes.
peep that. You know, you come around, they feel better. They realize that damn, when I'm not feeling good, I can go to him,
Yeah.
spill all my bad energy on him, and I'm gonna walk away feeling better. But sometimes you gotta protect it because not all
Facts.
people are good for you. Some
That's
people
facts.
will use you. So this is what that song is about: is protecting your energy from the people that's not meant for you and staying true to the ones that are.
All right, let's get it.
What's that?
Nigga, I love all your beat
Yeah.
choices, bro.
You
I
said-
love all your beat choices.
Shout out to Surfing.
I'm protecting all my energy. Ain't worried about them, ain't focused on you. Only doing things that meant for me. Ain't tryna come out selfish lately, I just cannot help it. I'm protecting all my energy. Yeah, your problem is your problem, it ain't mine for me to solve them, that ain't it for me. Only doing things that meant for me. I'm protecting all my energy. Skip the long story, I ain't got the time. When you rapping how you feeling, it ain't got a rhyme. Not the type to throw shade, I'm just trying to shine. I be speeding past your problems like a hazard sign. I just need a break. I got problems of my own, not to throw you away. Trying to manage how I'm feeling, don't know what to say. Lot of shit a nigga do it in a lot of state. I just need escape. I've been lost in my mental, not trying to digress. Trauma not to pass on my children, ain't get to dissect. Smoking out the backwards, I'm chilling, became the process. Praying on my progress. I'm protecting all my energy. Ain't worried about them, ain't focused on you. Ain't tryna come out selfish lately, I just cannot help it. I'm protecting all my energy. Yeah, your problem is your problem, it ain't mine for me to solve them, that ain't meant for me. Only doing things that meant for me. I'm protecting all my energy. Nothing more important than the state of mind. Always there for all my real ones that keep me in mind. But when you speak, then they check on me, see I'm doing fine. Not every day is gonna be easy, but you see I'm trying. Might be busy though. Swear I'm always on the move like a give and go. If I ain't working on the music, then it's on the show. If I ain't chopping up the visual, then it's probably closed. Can't pick up the phone. Lately I've been so busy, ain't got the time. Can't fix your problems, I got mine. Foot up on the pedal, can't let up off the grind. I hit you back when I got time. I'm protecting all my energy. Ain't worried about them, ain't focused on you. Only ain't tryna come out selfish lately, I just cannot help it. I'm protecting all my energy. Yeah, your problem is your problem, it ain't mine for me to solve them, that ain't meant for me. Only doing things that meant for me. I'm protecting all my energy.
That shit smooth,
You
nigga.
fucking with it? Yeah, man, I had to do that one, man.
That shit smooth,
I knew I
bro.
wanted to do that song because it was just like I feel like that related to me so much
Yeah.
in the sense of, and that's kind of like where my name came from because I used to go by like Tony Westside. Like when I first started, when I was SoundCloud, nothing else. And then it wasn't until like back then I was doing music with my brother, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something for myself because I felt like I'm always putting other people first. I'm always doing to whatever other people like or whatever, and then I wanted to do something just for me.
Right.
That I could say this is mine,
Right.
and that's when I put Westside's first. It's just a reminder every time you put yourself first.
Yeah. I fuck with it, bro. I really do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just explained that whole situation and you put that shit in the song, bro. I really fuck with it. But this is the first episode of Keep It Real with Dread. Shout out to my guest that came today.
Hey.
Yeah. It'll be more coming weekly. So we gonna fuck with y'all. If y'all wanna follow us, it's DeAndre Dawkins on Facebook, Dread_Marley28 on Twitter, Dread_Marley28 on IG.
Temperature check _ podcast. Also follow me on Instagram at Westsides First.
Yes.
That's the number 1 ST.
Yeah, and we out, bro.